Ever question why the Ford Pinto holds such a notorious reputation in the automotive world? Step back in time with me to the 1970s, an era marked by disco, bell-bottoms, and the introduction of a car that would forever change the automotive landscape, the Ford Pinto. Released amid much fanfare, the Pinto was initially hailed as a compact, economical solution for the fuel crisis of the 70s. It quickly gained popularity for its affordability and seemingly practical design, capturing the hearts of many American drivers. However, as time progressed, the Pinto began to show a different side, a side shrouded in controversy and danger. Rumors started to circulate, tales of devastating accidents and shocking design flaws. The car that was once loved for its economy and compactness was now feared. The Pinto's reputation started to sour, and the public's trust in this once adored vehicle began to wane considerably. The issues were not just hearsay or baseless rumors. They were serious, life-threatening concerns that shook the automotive industry to its core. These controversies were not the kind that could be fixed with a simple recall or a sincere apology. They were the kind that sparked debates, lawsuits, and even led to legislative changes. The Ford Pinto went from being a symbol of practicality and affordability to becoming a cautionary tale in the annals of automotive history. It became a glaring example of what not to do when designing and manufacturing a car. It was a lesson learned the hard way, not just for Ford, but for the entire auto industry. But what really happened to tarnish the Ford Pinto's reputation? What were the controversies that led to such a dramatic fall from grace? And how did these issues impact the car's legacy and the future of automobile manufacturing? These are the questions that we'll be exploring in this journey. So are you ready to uncover the shocking truth? Buckle up as we delve into the shocking truth about the Ford Pinto. The Ford Pinto wasn't just a car, it was a controversy on wheels. Peeling back the layers of the Ford Pinto's history, we find a series of controversies that ignited like the infamous fires the car was known for. At the heart of the scandals was a design flaw so dangerous it shook the public's trust in Ford and indeed the entire auto industry. The Pinto, you see, had a fuel tank positioned dangerously close to the rear bumper. In the event of a rear-end collision, even at relatively low speeds, the fuel tank could rupture, spilling gasoline that could easily ignite and engulf the vehicle in flames. And engulf it did. Tragically, these design flaws resulted in numerous fatal fires, forever branding the Pinto as a death trap on wheels. But the story doesn't end there. As the public became aware of these fatal flaws, court cases began to pile up against Ford. One of the most infamous was Grimshaw v. Ford Motor Company, where a jury awarded a staggering $28 million in punitive damages to a victim of a Pinto fire. The public outcry that followed was deafening. Consumers were horrified that a company they had trusted could put their lives at risk in such a way. The media was relentless, shining a spotlight on the Pinto's deadly design and Ford's apparent disregard for human safety. And Ford? Well, they were in damage control mode. They tried to downplay the problem. They tried to fight the lawsuits, but the damage was done. The trust was broken, and the Pinto's reputation was in tatters. The controversies surrounding the Ford Pinto were not just about a faulty fuel tank or a series of unfortunate accidents. They were about trust, responsibility, and the price of human life. And as the controversies mounted, the Pinto's reputation took a nosedive. With the controversies in full swing, the fallout was inevitable. The aftermath of the Ford Pinto debacle was like a slow-motion car crash you couldn't look away from. The public backlash was immediate and fierce. Consumers, once eager for the promise of affordable and efficient transportation, were now left disillusioned and wary. The trust that had been placed in Ford was shattered, and the fallout was felt in the declining sales. It seemed as though the once revered Ford Pinto had become a symbol for corporate greed and negligence. The media had a field day with the story, and the Ford Pinto was soon synonymous with danger and deceit. It was no longer just a car, it was a cautionary tale. The public outcry was so intense that it led to governmental intervention. Safety standards were re-evaluated and tightened, leading to a significant shift in the automotive industry. The fallout also saw the birth of watchdog groups dedicated to holding car manufacturers accountable. and ensuring that a disaster like the Ford Pinto would never happen again. But perhaps the most significant impact was on the Ford Pinto itself. The controversies and subsequent fallout led to the eventual discontinuation of the model. Ford, in a bid to salvage their reputation, decided to pull the plug on the Pinto. The car that was once hailed as the answer to the rising cost of vehicles was now seen as a symbol of corporate failure. The fallout from the Ford Pinto controversy was not just limited to the automotive industry. It served as a stark reminder for corporations across sectors about the importance of consumer safety and corporate responsibility. The Ford Pinto debacle was a wake-up call to industries everywhere that cutting corners and ignoring safety for the sake of profit was not just unethical, but could also lead to disastrous consequences. The fallout was swift and severe, marking the end of the road for the Ford Pinto. The once popular car was now a relic of the past, a reminder of what can happen when profit is put before people. It was a harsh lesson, but one that was necessary for the progression and improvement of the automotive industry. The Ford Pinto saga wasn't just a dark chapter in automotive history, it was a wake-up call. A call that reverberated across boardrooms and design studios, reminding the automotive industry of the paramount importance of safety in car design. The Ford Pinto story taught us that cutting corners for the sake of profits can have dire consequences. It showed us that a car, no matter how economically attractive or aesthetically pleasing, is not worth the potential risk it could pose to the lives of its passengers. Safety in car design, we learned, isn't just about meeting minimum legal requirements. It's about going above and beyond, anticipating potential hazards and designing vehicles that can withstand not just the expected, but the unexpected as well. It's about putting the well-being of the consumer first, before profits or market share. The Pinto controversy also exposed the potential consequences of ignoring consumer concerns. When reports first surfaced about the Pinto safety issues, Ford chose to dismiss them. This decision not only cost lives, but also damaged the company's reputation and credibility. It was a harsh reminder that consumer trust, once lost, is incredibly hard to regain. But perhaps the biggest lesson from the Pinto saga is about accountability. Ford's initial reluctance to accept responsibility for the Pinto's design flaws was a misstep that led to a public relations disaster. It was only when Ford acknowledged the problem and took steps to rectify it that the company began to regain some of its lost trust. The Ford Pinto controversy was a turning point in the automotive industry. It prompted a shift in focus from profit-driven design to safety-centric design, a shift that has undoubtedly saved countless lives. It also highlighted the importance of transparency and accountability in business practices. In the end, the Ford Pinto taught us valuable lessons about the importance of safety and accountability. Lessons that have shaped the way cars are designed and manufactured today, and lessons that will continue to guide us into the future. Despite its notorious reputation, the Ford Pinto left a lasting legacy. A legacy that's far more significant than the car's infamous safety issues. It's a legacy that has shaped the automotive industry and has sparked significant conversations about corporate responsibility. The Pinto's legacy is intricately tied to car safety regulations. In the wake of the Pinto controversy, the United States saw a major overhaul in its approach to automotive safety. The car's design flaws and the subsequent lawsuits led to a renewed emphasis on safety in car design. Laws were tightened, and automakers were held to a higher standard. The Pinto forced the industry to rethink its priorities, shifting the focus from profit margins to passenger safety. In the years that followed, we saw the introduction of more rigorous safety tests and the mandatory inclusion of safety features like airbags and anti-lock brakes. It's fair to say that every car on the road today is safer because of the lessons learned from the Pinto. But the Pinto's legacy extends beyond the realm of car safety. The scandal surrounding the car sparked a broader conversation about corporate responsibility. It raised questions about the ethical obligations of companies, particularly when it comes to protecting their customers. The Pinto case became a textbook example of what not to do, illustrating the catastrophic consequences of prioritizing cost-cutting over safety. This conversation about corporate responsibility is still ongoing today. It's a conversation that takes place in boardrooms and courtrooms, in universities and in the media. Every time a company makes a decision that could impact the safety of its customers, the ghost of the Pinto lurks in the background. The Ford Pinto may be remembered as a failure, but its legacy continues to shape the automotive industry. It's a stark reminder of the cost of negligence and the importance of prioritizing safety. The Pinto story is one of tragedy, but it's also one of change and progress. It's a legacy that continues to influence the way we think about cars, safety, and corporate responsibility. In conclusion, the tale of the Ford Pinto serves as a stark reminder of the potential costs of cutting corners. It's a story that we should remember, not just as a fascinating piece of automotive history, but as a lesson in the importance of safety and accountability. So as we end this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the lessons we've learned. Remember, the Ford Pinto story serves as a stark reminder of the potential costs of cutting corners. Drive safe and choose wisely. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Share this video with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing content like this.